Alright, today we're going to continue to talk about solving equations. Okay, and today you're going to add in a new step. Okay, so the first step that you're always going to do is distributing. Okay, you've learned about distributing in elementary school and even junior high, so this isn't anything new, we're just adding it into the things that we know. Okay, so the first step that you will always do when you're solving equations is to distribute. Okay, and down here in your vocabulary, the first term that I want you to put down is, of course, distribute. Okay, so your teacher words, or the definition of distribute, I'll try to write this the best that I can, is to give out to intended recipients. Okay, so that's kind of just a definition of distribution. Okay, what it means to you is that you're going to multiply the outside of the parentheses, multiply the outside of the parentheses by everything on the inside. Okay, so multiply the outside of the parentheses by everything on the inside. Okay, so make sure you get that written down. And what that kind of looks like, okay, so an example would be something like 9 times 6 minus x, or minus 3 times x plus 1. Okay, so you're going to end up taking what's on the outside and multiplying by each of the things on the inside to go ahead and get rid of that parentheses. And so that's what we're going to be working on today, just getting rid of parentheses by distributing. Alright. Okay, so make sure you have this stuff down, and we'll go ahead and move on. Alright. Okay, so we're going to practice simplifying or distributing for a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and practice. Remember, distribution, you're just going to take whatever's on the outside and multiply it by each thing on the inside. So for example, in number 1, you're going to take negative 8, multiply it by x, and multiply it by 12. So negative 8 times x would be, of course, negative 8x. And if you multiply negative 8 times 12, you're going to get negative 96, so you have negative 8x minus 96. Okay, so your black is going to represent the first ones that you multiply, your red represents the second piece that you multiply. Okay. Now the second one, I'm not sure why it's messed up. It's supposed to be 4 times x minus 91. Okay, so let's multiply these out. Our black is the first numbers, so you have 4 times x, or 4x. And then your red represents your 4 times your second term, or minus 91. And if you multiply those out, what is that? Negative 364? Okay, so our goal when distributing is to get rid of the parentheses. Okay, let's try a couple more here. Alright, once again we're just multiplying out. We'll use our black for our first term. Okay, negative 12 times x, of course, is negative 12x. And our red term, negative 12 times negative 7, we're always adding in that second piece right there, or the operator to the left of a number. So always include that when you're distributing. Okay, so negative 12 times negative 7 is going to be positive 84. Okay, so just go ahead and add that in. Okay, so that would be our solution for that guy. Alright, I want you to take a quick second, and I want you to try to distribute that on your own. Okay, so take a quick second, distribute that out, multiply each number on the inside by the number on the outside. Alright, okay, so we're going to take what we know about distributing, and we're going to apply it to solving equations. Okay, so let's look at this equation. We're going to ignore the left side of the equation, and we're just going to go ahead and take care of the distribution we learned how to do. Okay, so remember, we're going to distribute out. 4 times x gives us 4x. And 4 times 2 gives us 8. And then we just go ahead and rewrite our equation that we have. Okay, now we're back to where we were the last class, where we have two-step equations. And our fourth step that we learned was that you have to undo addition and subtraction first, and then undo multiplication and division. So we know that we have to undo this addition with subtraction. Okay, so we're going to undo addition with subtraction. Okay, those 8's cancel out. And 9 minus 8 is 1. Okay, so we have 1 equals 4x. And then when you have multiplication, 4 times x, you want to undo multiplication with division. Divide each side by 4. So those 4's cancel, and we have x left and 1/4 on the other side. So x is 1/4. Alright, let's try another example real quick. Alright, so let's start with our distribution. We know that's our first step of solving equations. And Lincoln's breathing really hard on the iPad. Okay, so we have 7 times x, or 7x. And then 7 times negative 4. Remember, you have to keep that negative in there. And 7 times negative 4 would give us negative 28. And then just go ahead and finish writing our equation. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve this equation. Remember, we have to undo addition and subtraction first. So we're going to undo subtraction with addition. So add 28 to both sides. Okay, those negative 28's cancel. And then we have 7x equals 59. Okay, so we have to now undo the multiplication between the 7 and the x. We undo multiplication with division. Those 7's cancel out, and we have x equals 59 over 7. Okay, so sometimes you're going to get answers that are fractions or aren't whole numbers. That's okay. That doesn't mean it's wrong. Okay, so you're going to have to be okay with that a little bit. Okay, if you want to take 59 divided by 7 on your calculator and reduce that, that'll work too. Okay, so there's those two examples. We're going to try a few more here in just a second, but first, I got a joke for you. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs underneath a steamroller? Think about it. Think about it. Lane. You like it. Alright, let's try a few more. Okay, for some reason the document didn't format these right. Okay, so go ahead and rewrite it as 3 times x plus 1 equals 7. Okay, so let's go ahead and distribute out. Remember, distributing is our first step of solving equations. Okay, so we'll take 3 times x, which of course gives us 3x. And then 3 times 1 gives us a positive 3. Alright, so let's go ahead and solve this out. We know that our second next step is solving equations is undoing addition with subtraction. So we're going to undo this addition with subtraction. Subtract 3 on both sides. Those 3's cancel out. And then we of course have 3x equals 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and undo our multiplication between our 3 and an x. Undo multiplication with division. The 3's cancel out. We have x equals 4/3. Okay, remember it's okay to have answers as fractions. You aren't always going to have whole numbered answers. Okay, let's try another one. Again, I kind of messed up on the formatting, so go ahead and write it as -5 times x minus 4 equals 8. Alright, let's go ahead and distribute. So we have -5 times x, which is -5x. And we have -5 times -4. A negative times a negative always gives us a positive. So we have positive 20 there. And that all equals 8. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve our two-step equation. We have to undo addition with subtraction. So we're going to subtract 20 on both sides. And that gives us -5x equals -12. And then we're going to undo our multiplication with division. So divide each side by -5. And our -5's cancel out. Our negatives over here cancel out. And we have x equals 12/5. Okay, so I'm trying to get you comfortable with problems that have fractions as answers. So don't get freaked out by those. It's just the same type of stuff. Okay, so what I want you to do, I want you to take a look at this example. 2 times x plus 3 equals 10. And 5h minus 4 equals 8. And we'll go over those here in a minute. Alright, let's go over one more as a class. Okay, so let's go ahead and distribute out. -6 times x is -6x. -6 times -2 gives us a positive, or a positive 12. And that all equals 9. Okay, so let's undo our addition with subtraction. Those 12's cancel out, and 9 minus 12 is -3. Okay, so we have -3 equals -6x. And last step, undo our multiplication with division. Okay, so divide each side by -6. So our -6's, they cancel out. Our negatives over here, they cancel out. And 3/6, what's another name for 3/6? Well, that would give us 1/2. Okay, so our x equals 1/2. Okay, so sometimes you're going to get whole answers, sometimes you're not. You just got to be ready for that. Okay, I would like you with a partner next to you. Look at this problem right here. Go ahead and distribute out and solve that equation for your variable.